This is the weather forecast video for Sunday, March 25th, 2012. Let's take a look at the satellite image from last evening. There's the storm system swirling over the Tennessee and Ohio valleys, moving off to the east, and another storm off to our west that'll be coming through early next week with some showers and thunderstorms. Here's the watch warning map from just before midnight. Some winter weather issues over California, some red flag warnings over Colorado and Wyoming. Otherwise, the nation is fairly quiet. QPF chart precipitation over the next 5 days through Thursday evening at 7 o'clock shows some decent amounts of precip over our area, maybe up to a quarter to half an inch of rain, with heaviest amounts over the Pacific Northwest, where a storm system will be here on the 0Z GFS Model Run at 1 p.m. this afternoon. The storm off of the Carolinas moving off, the storm over the west coming in, and that's going to bring rain and mountain snow there. While here, we're in between storms, skies mostly sunny, temperatures in the 70s, still well above average for this time of year. Monday, the next storm comes in. This is Monday evening. On the GFS, we have the low over Montana. Some rain along the warm front, could see some showers and thunderstorms. Now we switch over to the NAM. You don't see much difference. The low is in about the same place. The rain is in about the same place along a warm front, keeping warm air from the colder high over Canada. So let's take a look at severe weather parameters. The STP, significant tornado parameter, it's maxed out over, well, not maxed out, at the highest over South Dakota into far northwestern Iowa. So some interesting weather. Here's the supercell potential. It's also fairly high over South Dakota and Minnesota, with some decent levels even into Iowa. This is at 7 p.m. Monday evening. And the significant severe, the Craven-Brooks index, is also peaking in South Dakota and Nebraska and into far western Iowa. So could there be some severe weather? Yes, South Dakota, Nebraska, maybe far western Iowa. Here's the surface-based CAPE at the same time frame, and you can see CAPE values of 1,500 to 2,000 joules per kilogram in that area. So some decent CAPEs. We move ahead to Tuesday. This is Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock. The low will be just north of International Falls. The cold front will be coming through the eastern counties of the state at that time. And this is the NAM showing the same thing virtually. The low north of International Falls, the cold front coming through the eastern counties of the state. So the GFS and the NAM are pretty much in line with this. So we're back to the severe weather parameters. Here's the STP, significant tornado parameter. The highest levels are actually over far northeastern Iowa, but the level is just at 1, and that's not really conducive. Here's the supercell potential. The highest levels here are well off to our east over upper lower Michigan, or northern lower Michigan, and Lake Michigan. So the better chances are to our east. Craven-Brooks index shows some high levels further to our south and west, and even decent levels across the eastern counties of the state. So could we see some severe weather Tuesday afternoon? That's a possibility. We'll have to wait and see. The surface-based CAPE, even Tuesday afternoon, shows levels of about 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram over the southeastern counties into east central Iowa. So the CAPE values are there for severe weather. Back to the GFS and back to Wednesday, and that storm is long gone. Skies clear. Temperatures behind the system don't really cool off. Back into the 60s to lower 70s. Thursday, same story. 60s, 70s across the state. A bit of a disturbance just to our west could spark a shower maybe across our far western counties. And on Friday, that moves off to the east, so some showers and maybe an isolated storm across the central and eastern counties. Temperatures will be held down slightly in the 60s with this rain. But on Saturday, the storm really doesn't disappear as a new storm begins to crash into the north and west with some rain and mountain snow there. And temperatures still remain above average. We head to a week from today, next Sunday. This is April 1st. So already to April Fool's Day. Ridge over the east, trough over the west, and a storm system coming in that could bring some shower activity around here, but the main system is still going to be off to our west, so we'll have to see what this storm has in our sights. And in fact, it has a lot of stuff in our sights further into April on the 3rd. A big trough over the west, a big ridge over most of the east except the far northeast. And here's a fairly strong cold front, low pressure near Winnipeg, trailing front down through Minnesota, Iowa, into Missouri and Texas. And this might put an end to the above average temperatures, in fact, very cold behind it. A couple of days later, on the 7th, that cold air is still around. Trough over, well, it's a broad trough over most of the country, and unfortunately, this is possibly looking at the possibility of seeing some snow. That's right, I just said that. There could be with this pattern. A few days later, at the end of the forecast on the 9th, the trough broadens out, pretty much zonal at this point, so no chances of any snow with this here. We'll have a high pressure, a modified high pressure just to our east. The warm air beginning to come back, but we still have a very strong high pressure up over the Yukon that we'll have to watch later in runs. Thank you for tuning in to this very long weather forecast video. We'll have another one on Monday.